Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. We got a real interesting night tonight. As you know, Fraud Patrol released his video today. So we're going to go over that and give our opinion on it. And got some updates on the super mayor. So, with that being said, let's get it on. Howdy, howdy, howdy. Hey there, good morning, good evening to Mr. Freddie, TB. Always count on you. Awesome. Good to hear. Ray says this couldn't happen at a good time. The good Lord has blessed me with a lot of good feelings tonight. Well, that's awesome, brother. Uh, we all need to just watch more often for those blessings. Those we get them every day. We just got to look for them. So I'm sure y'all have already seen Prouder Trolls uh, video he put out today where he laid Mr. Kaiser to the carpet. Uh, let's see, 6,000 views so far in 8 hours. That is fucking amazing. That is absolutely awesome. That I just can't. I'm so happy to see that. So we're gonna go over it tonight and give my opinion on it. I started to go live earlier, but everybody was already live, so there was really no sense in it. Finkel was live, Jerry was live, uh, DP was live. Oh yeah, you gonna take a trip, huh? Be interested to hear about that. Uh, in fact, let me know if I can work it out. I might possibly take a trip with you. I've been kind of wanting to go down there myself, kind of ask around, find out some information firsthand. Hey, I got a new mic and everything set up. How's it sound? Good, good. The other one I had was on a metal stand. It sat on the table, and every time I moved it around, you could hear it. Great, great to hear. I recommend this setup. It's real reasonable. You get the whole arm, mic, everything. Um, and I've even got a set of earphones coming for like 85 bucks. So I definitely recommend it. It's a real good deal. All right. Well, let's jump over here and take a look at Frauder Trolls assassination. Because by God, he did an amazing job on this. I think. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I don't want to. I think Shiz had some help with him on it, and maybe a few others. But he did an awesome job, or they, or whoever all was involved with it.
What if I told you that this content creator that goes by the name Fraudit Wrangler on YouTube is actually a man who got away with murder? And what if I told you that this man also accidentally confessed to that murder live on the internet?
I've been shot at, I've been shot, I've returned fire, I've killed.
Sometimes reality is even stranger than fiction, and today is no different. This is a tale of murder, stolen valor, burglaries, and scams. This is the story of Fraudit Wrangler. Before we can understand what happened with the murder, first we must know what Fraudit Wrangler does on YouTube. And Fraudit Wrangler is part of the anti-frauditor community, which I'm also part of under the alias Frauditor Troll. The anti-frauditors are dedicated to calling out bad apples in the First Amendment auditor community. First Amendment auditors are self described citizen journalists and activists, and sometimes they can make some pretty interesting videos. For example, this is Jeff Gray from the channel Honor Your Oath, and he's holding a sign that says, God bless the homeless veterans, giving the impression that he might be a homeless person, and he's doing somewhat of a social experiment to try to find out what people are going to do. Are they going to call the cops or are they going to leave him alone? But some other
I
First Amendment
love Jeff.
auditors are using their channel as a shield to commit horrible crimes. This is Earl David Worden, who owns the channel News Now Houston. He was pretending to be a journalist and an activist, but meanwhile, he was committing horrible crimes against.
He's talking about Jeff Gray. At one point, Brian over on Here's the Deal was talking about trying to get together a group and go down um, to the Civil Rights Museum and standing on the steps down there holding the sign just like Jeff. Because of all places, he got ran off from there. I don't know if you saw that video, but I couldn't believe it. Of all the places in the world, he got ran off from there because he was standing out there. His idea to me is the best one of anybody else's. I have a lot of respect for Jeff, but I think going down there and getting together would be a great idea. I'd love to do it.
children, he was arrested and found guilty and is currently serving 20 years in prison. This YouTuber, who operates the channel Riverside County Accountability, was pretending to be an activist, but meanwhile, he was just using that as a reason to assault people and pepper spray citizens. And one day he took it too far and violently beat up a man while he was on the ground, and he is now facing 25 years in prison for that.
Of course,
Now, I
Troll
could
had
go
to
on
get
for
his
hours. I can
punches
tell you
in
about
on
this guy
the
who's serving 6 months
First
in
Amendment
jail for
auditors.
obstructing at a traffic stop.
Hey,
I
Brandon,
can tell you
how you
about
doing,
this
buddy?
woman who makes a living
Thanks for
harassing the
stopping in.
homeless. Or I could tell you about this guy who deleted his channel once I exposed him for his crimes against children. But that's not the point of the video. Let's get back to the murder. In 2008 and 2009, Frauded Wrangler was a self-admitted opiate addict who got his fix by burglarizing people's homes, stealing guns, and then selling them to pawn shops. On a panel I hosted, he also admitted to burglarizing his neighbor's home to steal pills.
Now, I understand you burglarized an elderly woman's home. Is that true? Your neighbor's home? She was an elderly woman?
I don't know if she was elderly, but she was my neighbor, yes. No one was there, but
And you took personal goods and sold them for drugs. Is that what you did?
no, I took drugs.
You took drugs from her home?
Yes.
The state of Alabama is alleging that Frauded Wrangler burglarized the home of Donald Atwater Cameron Jr. around Christmas, and when Frauded Wrangler was inside, he brutally murdered Donald by shooting him in the back of the head. Donald Atwater Cameron Jr. was a Marine who proudly served his country for 4 years until he was medically discharged because he had Breider syndrome, which required multiple surgeries and left him movement impaired. Donald's family called the police.
Now, he claimed that that woman wasn't there when he climbed in her window, but he knew that Donald was there. He was restricted to moving around. He knew for sure he had to be there, and because of Donald being a disabled veteran, dipshit was in there looking for pills too. I guarantee you that's what it was. Because he figured Donald was getting them also. There's some bitches. He's so low. I'm just so happy that Troll did this. Like I said, it's up to. Let me look at the count here. 6,000 views in 8 hours right now. Right there. So I know in the first hour it was a 1.6.
Police after Donald failed to arrive for their Christmas gathering. His body was then discovered in his home on December 26, 2009. While Donald was laying down on the floor without a sign of life, the killer.
You haven't seen this yet, Brandon? This is Frauder Troll put this together. He's been promising it for about a week and told everybody he was going to do it. Let dipshit know it was coming. And he put it up on his other channel called Josh Prime. It's normally a body cam channel, and he's got over 1,000 subscribers. I'm sorry, 100,000 subscribers over there. And so he put this on that channel so it would get as much visibility as he possibly could. So him and Shiz went together and put this together, and it is amazing. Like I said, 6,000 views so far in 8 hours. So yeah, check it out. We're going to go through the whole thing. It's not real long.
Shot him again in the back of the head using a homemade silencer. Donald's PlayStation 3 and firearms were also stolen. The PlayStation 3 was connected to Frauded Wrangler's home Wi-Fi network and was later recovered in his possession. As well, the police located a book on how to make homemade silencers. The state was planning to establish a pattern between this murder that Frauded Wrangler has committed and the previous burglaries that he has committed in the past. When asked about the murder, Frauded Wrangler had this to say to his YouTube audience.
Just know the murder case is not going to paint me in a very pretty light. It's not. That murder case did not paint me in a very pretty light. It didn't, in any regard. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant.
Frauded Wrangler has never publicly denied murdering Donald Cameron. In fact, it's quite the opposite. In this case, he said it was irrelevant if he did it or not, and in other cases, he's outright admitting taking someone's life.
I've been shot at. I've been shot. I've returned fire. I've killed.
This comment in particular is truly telling. He told a friend, take it from someone who has taken life, regardless of war or peace. If you're a good person, you never forgive yourself. Now, you might ask yourself, it looks like he's talking about a combat context where he was deployed on enemy soil and he was forced to take the life of an enemy. And for you guys to fully understand what's going on here, we need to talk about Frauded Wrangler's history with stolen valor. When I first met Frauded Wrangler, I was looking into the past of this fraudener as a correction officer. Frauded Wrangler offered to help and presented himself as a decorated war hero who did 3 tours overseas and was wounded in combat. These are his military claims.
I mean, I'm 4th straight generation U.S. military, and I love this country, and I love what our country stands for, because we are a nation of laws.
Yeah, you know, when Troll brought him on to his panel, he did it thinking that he was getting a veteran, you know, somebody who fought for the Constitution. And so he was getting someone who could really stand up against the auditors. And I even put my tank backdrop up tonight just in honor of this whole video. Uh, he he helped set Wrangler up and get him going. Dick Bag made his introduction, and so they basically got him started. And so when everything came up, you know, Troll outed him in the beginning. He's the first one that put his feet to the fire. I'll give Josh credit. You know, whenever any member of the anti-auditing community fucks up, he holds their feet to the fire. He definitely does. I don't agree with the things he says most of the time, but I do give him credit for standing up to anybody in the anti-auditing community that pulls a bunch of bullshit and tries to get over. He won't let it slide, and he didn't with dipshit. And so now he's hit this video again, just putting it out there so people will see everywhere.
You know, I never had a problem telling everybody on a chat, you know, in a live, that I have PTSD. I have been injured. I've had 9 surgeries, 2 gunshot wounds, and I still have frag next to my spine.
Quit sticking your head in the wrong
And
window, you won't get shot.
all of that was pretty much pale in comparison to what was going on in my head. I had several guys over the years that were from Alabama that, you know, were assigned under me. And I'm going to tell you what, they were some of the best damn soldiers I've ever commanded. Because what started off getting my blood pressure and my PTSD going was I've been shot twice. I've got some frag in my back, and I've had 9 goddamn surgeries. And
Dickhead, I didn't retire. I was medically boarded.
The funny thing about him is there's twice that he told that exact same story. I've had 9 surgeries and I've been shot twice. Yeah. It's like a parrot repeating it over and over again. Exactly. Word for word. Glad you stopped in, Show Me. Welcome, buddy.
Out after enough to earn myself 2 Purple Hearts and 3 tours. So.
What makes you think you have the right to question me about my service when you didn't serve? I didn't serve for you. I served for me, my family, and my flag. My last tour, and I had broke my leg. We took an RPG round to the grill, and that took us from doing about 70 miles an hour to nothing in less than a second. And the warhead just absolutely smashed the engine back. It snapped the transmission from the damn drive shaft. It pushed the entire engine and transmission back about 8 inches. And
that's TV says he's trying to lie to himself when he doesn't have to live up to the reality that he actually did those things to Donald Cameron. Oh, exactly. Yeah. And we're going to see here in a minute where he really just comes out and admits it, or, without seeing it. That he's done it. And the whole story about the Humvee is one of the ones that really drawed attention to people when he said that about a Humvee going 70 miles an hour. Well, Sergeant Major Retired said it best of all. The only way a Humvee, especially an armor-plated Humvee, is going to hit 70 miles an hour is if you drop it out of the back of a fucking plane. So, yeah. He trying to say that it dropped that an RPG hit the grill and knocked the engine back 8 inches. And broke his leg. And then that was the other story, was he went into explaining how he had a lateral break and he went 3 weeks with full battle rattle, walking on his broken legs and didn't even know it. Was shit. He couldn't walk 3 inches, let alone 3 weeks. I mean, a Humvee loaded with full armor platings and everything else, you do real good to get it up to 40, 45 miles an hour.
And when it did that, it knocked the damn firewall in. I broke my leg a half inch under the knee, and I didn't know about it for 3 weeks. I got to see it was some other. It was like a Dr. Light, and
Dr. Light.
Yeah, it was a physical something, but not therapist or anything like that. But
Show Me Audit says my buddy was in a Hummer, hit an IED at speed about 50, he says. And that would be top speed going downhill. They're just not made for it, especially with all that weight. And if you got a machine gun turret mounted on top, then you're even talking more, 2 to 3 people inside of it. It's just, says he was the only one that survived and is blind. God bless him. I have a friend of mine who's blind that I know what he goes through. He didn't lose his sight from the military, but he lost it from a stroke, and I know what he has to go through every day. So my heart goes out to your friend.
He told me I sprained my MCL and to just wrap it up, and that was that. About 3 weeks later, we were off of rotation. 20 days later. Now, keep in mind, I didn't know I had a broken leg, so everything else was just, I was on that broken leg for 3 weeks in full battle rattle. And day one of my 2-day rotation off,
he just said 21 days. Was that what it was? The last time I heard him tell this story, it was 17 days when he tried to talk about KY reacts in that accident and breaking his leg. He's told this story that it was 17 days that he spent in the hospital before he was able to go on leave.
I was going to get a shower, and I was in damn pair of PT shorts, and the first sergeant saw it. And he called me over there, and I started to limp to him. And he went, "Nope, Sergeant, you stay there." Yes, Top.
Of course, I'm a Ranger. I know how to blow shit up effectively and quasi-safely.
The problem for Fraud Wrangler arose when real veterans started questioning his military claims and started looking into his background. Real veterans such as Stone Vet and Master Sergeant Retired started digging, and unfortunately for Fraud Wrangler, Master Sergeant Retired pulled his DD-214.
The first one I looked at, this is dealing with his U.S. Army Reserve time. It was pretty short. He had a total period of service, or a net active service this period, 1 month and 5 days. It's a very empty DD-214. I'm also going to show you a close-up of his NGB 22 form, which is a National Guard discharge paper that he was unavailable for signature because the chicken shit never went back to the National Guard when he was discharged from Fort Leonard Wood. There you go. Private. There's his service dates. I don't see 2000 to 2008 in there. Oh, uncharacterized discharge. Oh, no. Character of service, uncharacterized. You're a turd. I think people have realized that he's just a liar. He is just a liar. And if his lips are moving, he's most likely lying about something. Whatever it is he's talking about, he's lying about it.
Master Sergeant Retired was extremely accurate in that assessment, but even pathological liars will sometimes tell the truth or half-truths, such as this comment. So just so we're clear on the stolen valor, Frauded Wrangler enrolled twice and never completed boot camp. He had 2 uncharacterized discharge after very little time in service. He was never...
First time they said it was a bee sting, and second time was shin splints. Now, let me clarify, too, for full disclosure, what I said about how fast a Humvee goes. That's what people have told me about them. I've never driven one. I was a tanker, and during my time in the 80s, we still had Jeeps. So Humvees come out, and I was getting out. So, but that's what I've been told about it. Oh, hell. I'll tell you, I would have loved to have gotten that little son of a bitch on the PT field. That's what I did before I was a tanker. I was a drill sergeant. That's what this patch is. And out of all the equipment that I still ever had when I got out, I had field jackets and BDUs and all kinds of shit, TA-50. And the only thing I still have left today is my campaign hat. and it's still stiff as a board. But I would have loved to have got him in boot camp. Oh my God. I wish to God I could have had him. Show me says in the early 90s, the unarmored could do 70, but the armor makes them crawl. And that's what I've been told, you know. So I know with all that on there, you know, like I said, and you add a machine gun cupola and 3 men, hell, there's just no way.
Never deployed to Afghanistan. He never had 3 tours. He doesn't have a Purple Hearts. All those stories are fabrications.
That's an awesome picture.
So when
there.
here he says that he has taken life, who did he kill? The only answer is Donald Cameron Jr. The death penalty was on the table for Frauded Wrangler, and the state was very confident in their case. But unfortunately, the entire case was dismissed because of a clerical error in the indictment. This senseless murder was going to remain unsolved because of a couple words. Now, that is a travesty of justice if I've ever seen it. What's interesting is that initially the case was dismissed with prejudice, meaning that Frauded Wrangler would walk free forever. But luckily, the state filed a motion that reversed the decision to dismiss with prejudice, meaning that this case could be refiled at any moment. The YouTuber Shiz Happens, who is responsible for unearthing all these documents and the murder story, had this to say in a recent live stream.
I was able to talk to people that were in the courtroom that day. From what I heard, Tarnisha Jones, the Assistant Attorney General, was brought into chambers with Kaiser's lawyer and the judge. The judge screamed at her, told her that he would defer to judgment if it went to trial. From talking to legal professionals in the area today, it appears that Kaiser's lawyer was known for kind of blackmailing judges. So it's weird that he's confessing by projection, putting blackmail on me, when it seems from sources in the area that the lawyer knew who the judge's mistress was. And I believe that's why the situation unfolded the way it was. The Assistant Attorney General was very disheartened. And the decision to refile was put off because it would go back before the same court with the same lawyer, and they would have the same result, and they would lose their chance to retry this. Thankfully, at this time, it seems the stars are aligning, and the corrupt, that's corruption, right? The corrupt people that were involved at the time are no longer in play. That judge has left the bench after some disgrace. And I think that the renewed interest and the renewed care and concern for Mr. Cameron is going to be fruitful. I don't think that Mr. Kaiser is going to get away with this for much longer.
Now, you would think that after barely getting...
That's what I keep crossing my fingers for. I didn't want to interrupt that while Shiz was talking. I wanted to leave that played for anybody to hear all of it. But that's what my hopes are. You know, I hope that this year, by the end of this year, they recharge his ass. I just pray they do. And I truthfully hope that he doesn't get the death penalty. I want the son of a bitch to sit in prison the rest of his life and think about what he's done. I want his ass to rot there.
Getting away with murder on a technicality, someone would change their way of life, refrain from using drugs, and definitely not commit any more burglaries. But this is Frauded Wrangler we're talking about. And as early as 2 years ago, he was still committing burglaries, and he got charged with 5 felonies for breaking into his former place of employment stealing credit cards, and using the credit cards fraudulently. These cases are still active, and he could be facing prison time in the near future for these 5 felonies. On top of being a cold-blooded killer, Frauded Wrangler is also an expert manipulator. Shiz Happens was looking into a case in 2009 where Frauded Wrangler claimed that a burglar went into his house and shot him in the arm. And sensing that the truth was going to come to light, Frauded Wrangler decided to post a video that he would publish to his audience to gain sympathy. And in that video, he was talking about self-harm. Of course, I cannot talk about it on this video or show you the clip because YouTube will flag it. But you guys can put 2 and 2 together. He was baiting an emotional response out of his subscribers so that they could turn a blind eye to what actually happened. Let's take a look at his first statement to the police. Initially, he said that an unknown black male forced his way into the victim's house, and the suspect was armed with an unknown type handgun and was pointing the weapon at the victim. The suspect asked the victim, "Where's the package?" And the victim said, "I don't know what package you're talking about." The victim deflected the suspect's weapon to the side, at which time the suspect fired 1 round into the victim's front upper portion of the arm. The suspect then fled the victim's home. The victim said that he receives medication each month from the VA medical distribution point located in Charlestown, North Carolina. He said that his medication must be signed for him alone, and he feels that his house has been under observation by the suspect. What this shows is that he has some sociopathic tendencies, because what if the police did find this mysterious black man that just burglarized into a home? And what if a violent encounter happened, or if the man was arrested for a crime he didn't commit? These are all things that Frauded Wrangler doesn't care about because it doesn't affect him. This is a true psychopath.
That, I mean, hey, Brandon says, pick me up on the way down, show me. Well, I think we'll probably end up having a busload by the time if that ever happens. You know, shit, I'll rent a bus, get a Winnebago or and go down. Hell, it's any part of Alabama's only at the most to the bottom of Alabama's 5 hours. You know, so you know I'll be right fucking there. So, but you know, there's what they just said there about him, you know, just being a sociopath. I missed that video. I don't know if any of y'all caught it that Fraud or Troll's talking about. So obviously that at some point he went on his channel because he knew that that story was coming out and told, you know, that he was going to hurt himself and that he was in a bad spot and all this and fed all this shit to his subscribers. You know, that's what this whole cult thing I've been saying about it all along. You know, he feeds to his audience so much that they just and they're all, you know, probably all sad, you know. Hi, Miss Stephanie, come on in. Good to see you. You know, I noticed a lot of them are women, and I bet they're divorced single women, you know, that their kids are probably all grown and gone off, and so they're middle-aged, lonely women. And he just plays the yes, ma'am, you know, hey, sweetheart, all that shit. He manipulates all of them. It's just pure bullshit. Show me said, Miss Stephanie Jenkins, hello. Isn't it past your bedtime? Miss Stephanie hangs out with me a lot of mornings. We're getting to be the morning crew around here. But I tried to go earlier tonight, but everybody was already on. And because of me being on satellite between, 5 o'clock in the evening till about 10, everybody is using the stream. So it's not very strong. And I have a lot of trouble trying to stream from it. So to get a good run at it, I need to do it after like 10 o'clock. And I've got a high speed computer. I got 64 gigs of RAM. So, but and like I said, everybody was on this video, so I figured I would wait and go over it later tonight. But anyway, back to what I digress, the cocksucker. Back to what they were saying. He is a textbook psychopath. I mean, unreal.
A couple days later, he realized that the police were not buying his fictitious story, so he came up with a different version of events. He then said that on Monday of this week, I was repairing an antique weapon that required me to chamber around. The weapon included a decocker safety. As I flipped the safety on, the hammer fell, causing an accidental discharge. The incident weapon was an IMI Baby Eagle 9mm caliber. It's unclear why Frauded Wrangler was not charged with filing a false police report, although it wouldn't be the first time that Frauded Wrangler gets a beneficial treatment from the courts. Now, the motivation for the hoax was that his wife was leaving him and he needed an excuse to force her to stay. So by making her feel unsafe, letting her know that there was an unhinged black man roaming around shooting people, he thought that she would stay. And this is the kind of manipulation that Frauded Wrangler is capable of. Now let's talk about the scams. The first one I want to talk about was a scam fundraiser that Frauded Wrangler did for a good friend of mine, Blackheart Knight. Now, Blackheart Knight is part of the same anti-frauditor community, and unfortunately, his house burned down and he didn't have any resources and needed some financial help. So Frauded Wrangler organized a fundraiser for him where he collected these super chats.
Up a $10 super chat. Thank you, darling. We'll make sure that goes to a good person. But yeah, so I decided, let's do this, and I would rather us do that for him than, and that's what separates us from the damn frauditing community.
Nightman's wife, for $20. Blackheart Knight, hope this helps. It will certainly help, and we'll get that over to him once the revenue comes through.
But thank you, Parsons, 1122, $53 to BK. Bless you, BHK.
I gotta keep doing it,
everything works out. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it.
And for Cheshire Cat for $10. Sorry to hear about BH.
I was on earlier, and Parsons said he hates the fact that every time he sees that fucking tab come up on that video.
Okay, here's what I can do. ATM at the moment. Sorry. Just remember, I'm always smiling and you see me everywhere. This is true.
Oh, Phil, coming in. I can't get the PayPal to work for BHK.
Phil
This is definitely for a great cause.
Person.
Thank you, Phil. Greatly appreciated, sir.
So in total, Wrangler raised about $300, but the only issue is that he never gave Blackheart Knight the money. He pocketed the entire amount, and 8 months later, after he was confronted by Blackheart Knight, he finally offered to give the money. Now, we had a chance to question him on the live panel I did, and this is what he had to say. All right, so I think you guys get the point. So you did a fundraiser for Blackheart Night, right? And that was on March 23rd.
Yeah, 23rd.
Yeah, 2023, right?
Yes. Day after the day after my house, not my house, but the place I was renting burned down.
Yeah. Wrangler, did you give Blackheart Night the money?
He's muted.
Wrangler, you're muted.
Yeah.
No, he's okay.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah, Wrangler, did you give Blackheart Night the money?
Yeah, that's when Fraud or Troll really started busting him out. That's when all the truth started coming out about him. And the whole thing about the damn, I lost my train of thought. About Blackheart Night. You know, he tried to say that he forgot about it. And then when Blackheart Night, that because it was super chats, it took a long time for it to come in, and he was getting his channel monetized all at the same time, and all of it started coming in at the same time, and he just forgot about it. It took like a month or so to get the money, and so he just forgot it, you know. And when Blackheart Night finally said something to him about it, then he's like, oh, I forgot, you know. TVs. I'll show you my PC. I switched the camera. Hold on. Let me turn off the background. There you go. All right. So
Blackheart, have you gotten my emails?
I've got your emails. I've got it in my Cash App. Wrangler, you can have this back. You can give it to everybody else, everybody on that list who paid me. That should have gone. That should have gone. That would have been helpful months ago. But seeing as hell you kept it for 5 months, well, that's just, you did me dirty, dude.
I completely forgot about it by the time that everything came around because so much had happened, and it never came up again between me and Blackheart.
So he did a fundraiser for $300 and just forgot to give it to the person that the fundraiser was for. And somehow that's not even the first scam he does on his channel. Before people realized that he was not a veteran, Frauded Wrangler was pretending that he was going to give every single dollar he receives to a veteran charity.
I will never, ever, 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 ever ask any of y'all to give me money. I put a Wrangler Cash App thing in my description or whatever, and anything that I get from you all is going to go to something very, very worthy. Like it'll be veteran related charity. I just don't know what.
To this day, Frauded Wrangler has never shown any proof whatsoever that he has given a dime to a veteran charity. And in fact, every night, Frauded Wrangler is still collecting hundreds of dollars from his viewers. Last week, he forgot to turn off his camera, and you can hear him talking to someone on the phone after a live stream, and he's complaining that he only made $90 in 2 hours.
Our membership, so stickers, and the amounts are literally all over the place. So the fact that it's 90 is going to take a lot.
What I find even more surprising than the murder, the stolen valor, and the scams is that there are people who know all of this information and they still support him every single night by showering him with money. It's almost like they're brainwashed and they're part of a cult. And he's actually embracing the cult vibe by calling himself Wrangler Jim Jones Elbay of the Kool-Aid Roughnecks. And a lot of his members in the side chat have a WCM at the end of their username, and that stands for Wrangler Cult Member. This story is far from over, and there are still so many unanswered questions. Will there be justice for Donald Atwater Cameron Jr.? Will Frauded Wrangler face prison time for his 5 open felonies? Will he stop pretending to be a wounded war hero? And will his cult members realize that they're being fooled? I guess time will tell to see if we will get any answers for those questions. But for now, this has been the true
There you go,
story
Miss
of the
Stephanie. I'll put it
YouTuber
in
who got
the
away with murder,
banner.
Frauded Wrangler.
Whether it's true or not is irrelevant. Whether it's true or not is irrelevant.
My name is Hondo Underwood. I stole cars valued at over $1 million. Some were stolen to order, some went to chop shops. This is how crime works. I've probably stole 200 to 300 vehicles. To me, once I got proficient at stealing, there was no time of day that was safe.
Shit, hold on. I fucked up the video.
Before we can understand what happened with the murder, first we must know what Frauded Wrangler, an unknown type handgun, and was pointing the weapon at the victim. The suspect asked the victim, "Where's the package?" And the victim said, "I don't know what package you're talking about." The victim deflected the suspect's weapon to the side, at which time the suspect fired 1 round into the victim's. Get the point? So you did a fundraiser for Blackheart Night, right? And that was on March 23rd.
Have you gotten my emails?
I've got your emails. I've got it in my Cash App. Wrangler, you can have this back. You can give it to everybody else, everybody on that list who paid me. That should have gone. That would have been helpful months ago. But seeing as hell you kept it for 5 months, well, that's just, you did me dirty, dude.
I completely forgot about it by the time that everything came around because so much had happened, and it never came up again between me and Blackheart.
So he did a fundraiser for $300 and just forgot to give it to the person that the fundraiser was for. And somehow that's not even the first scam he does on his channel. Before people realized that he was not a veteran, Frauded Wrangler was pretending that he was going to give every single dollar he received to a veteran charity.
I will never, ever,
hey, Scotto.
ever ask any of y'all to give me money.
Thanks for
I
dropping
put a Wrangler
in.
Cash App thing in my description or whatever, and anything that I get from you all is going to go to something very, very worthy. Like it'll be veteran related charity. I just don't know what.
To this day, Frauded Wrangler has never shown any proof whatsoever that he has given a dime to a veteran charity. And in fact, every night, Frauded Wrangler is still collecting hundreds of dollars from his viewers. Last week, he forgot to turn off his camera.
Let me get this turned down. I think Josh did a hell of a job on that. Really. But I hope it really does. Yeah, I hope the son of a bitch goes viral. Let me look at a refresh on it and see what it's up to now. Oh, I'll tell you what. I got something I want to show y'all that I run across. This dude, and this is totally off subject, completely off subject. This guy has got a vocal range that is just out of this world.
In New Orleans, they call the rising sun. And it's been the ruin of many a poor boy. And God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor, sewed my new blue jeans. Daddy was a gambling man way down in New Orleans.
It's in the ticker tape underneath, right after "Rest in Peace, Donald." It's loadaudits@gmail.com.
A gambler ever has is a suitcase and a trunk. The one and only time a gambler satisfied is when he's on the drunk. So now, mothers, tell your children.
I better not play much more of that. I don't want to get in trouble. I ain't monetized, but I want to try to do like I'm supposed to. So, but this guy is amazing. Jeff Castellucci. Yeah, I sent a link to that one there. All of his songs he does them just like that. 4 versions of himself all harmonizing, and his range is from you heard his bass, and he's actually got, a tenor. So, and he does a bunch of old covers. He does an awesome job of Country Roads, John Denver. So, yeah, I'm showing my age. Let me pull up here the other thing that I wanted to talk about big this week. I don't know if y'all been keeping up with the super mayor.
From the Jedediah Brown Facebook page. And the post goes as follows. Help me congratulate Dalton Mayor, super homewrecker Tiffany Hinyard. Today is court for Kamal divorce. She maybe gets her man all to herself. Stop the show.
This crazy bitch is, I mean, the FBI come to her today. If you didn't see that, they came in and dropped 2 subpoenas off. And the fucking poor clerk, they dropped off subpoenas to her for the budget and her spending and her records. And hell, Tiffany won't give them to her. So she's stuck in the middle. It's is a hell of a mess. And her assistant, that bastard's messed up into everything. It's it's definitely a wild thing. They served more today. I saw that they served 2. Uh, yeah, I got me a new mic. I was hoping it would work well. I stole from Shiz. I needed one that had a boom arm because that metal stand kept grating across the table whenever I moved it. Let's go see what old dickhead's got on his site. I don't think I've heard him reply to any of this today. Well, he got something going on here. Damn sure want to get past his roll call. And now that I said it many times, they carry on this stupid shit that they're together. Why the fuck would she send him $5? You know, what the hell would that matter? Send him $5. YouTube take 2 of it. He get 3 when he's living there with her. Oh, how sweet.
What is up, my tyrant friend?
Hello, hello. How are you guys tonight?
Oh man, I'm great. Did you hear the story I was telling?
Yes, about
Okay. I just want so I don't have to go back to the start. So anyway, I know that story was a little off subject.
Oh, what story?
So anyway, if
what?
Also, like the Aviation Club is a nonprofit. Hey, what's up there, Peter Kick? How are things in the Azores? And Miss Tammy Tianki, welcome back, ma'am. Jennifer Rao, it's great to see you. Hope you're having a good week. Miss Karen, but not a Karen, welcome back.
What kind of
Kristen
bullshit?
Pino, welcome back, ma'am. Thank you for joining us. And Critter Numero Trey for $10. The throwback video you posted this afternoon reflects how angry you used to be and shows how far you have refined your approach, which is why I became a member when I did. I saw your potential. Well, thank you so very much, man. That really means a lot. Last squirrel standing, Wrangler shoulder cannon. What's up, Brother Carl? Blake Betts, good evening. Welcome. All right, well, how are things up north today? All righty. You know what? 18 minutes for 250 of you. I'll take that all day long. Thank you again, Critter number 3.
Oh, what throwback
so while we're waiting on
video did he
JJ,
post?
you know,
Oh yeah, we definitely talking about that super mayor. That bitch is absolutely off her chain. I talked about it the other night. That one cop worked 303 hours, and there's only 336 hours in a 2-week period. When the fuck did he sleep? Yeah. And just they was talking about it today, said that right now the town is 7 billion, no, 7 million. I'm sorry, 7 million in the hole right now. You know, talking about on that other video where he fucked old Blackheart Knight out of that money. I've talked to Miss Donna last night or 2 nights ago, and she told me that he got her on the fake GoFundMe. No, we never talk about OMC. She's a sweet lady, I tell you. I went up there to the first trial, and we all went out to eat and talked and hung around. Generally specific, bunch of us. I got a picture somewhere. I'll find it next time. Show you. Went and had pizza. That was a second hearing in Meade County. Because the first times when the Pickle Clown group came up there, and Chris asked nobody to come, and then second time he said, "If you want to come on." And me and Bree went up there. Yeah, the super mayor Tiffany. She's something else. I'll have to get back to this motherfucker. I don't see nothing he posted this morning.
Just one of the reasons that this video really kind of chapped my ass when I saw it. Miss Isabella Honda, welcome. Was, Richard Eastland, welcome. Well, I tell you what, you can go check it out in Discord. I'm going to get back to talking about what they want to talk about. But thank you so much for stopping by, and don't forget to hit the like button on your way out. So, his whole excuse was that this was a private club. It was an aviation club. It's the flying version of a motorcycle club. And it was being held not on club-owned property. It was being held on private property. And they didn't want him there. However, one person there wanted him there saying he could film. But remember, it's still being held on private property. And the officers dropped the ball big time. Hey, Miss Anya Meadows, welcome back, sis. So they dropped the ball big time.
That's Billy's wife.
And just to give you an example of why that wouldn't fly is my father belongs to a motorcycle club. And it also, like the aviation club, is a nonprofit. Hey, Miss Linda Hill, Mr. Wizard, welcome back, folks. Anyway, like the aviation club, it's a nonprofit group. Now, at the end of the fiscal year for my father's motorcycle club, whatever money they have that would be considered profit from, beer sales at events, runs, donations, is they take that and they donate it. It's usually to either the sheriff's department or the city police. In the early 90s, 3 officers went to serve a warrant. And if I remember correctly, he was a meth dealer, but he also liked to dip in his own supply. Well, when he saw them roll up, he breaks out a Mac 90 with a 75 round drum. Now, a Mac 90 is a Chinese version of a Russian AK 47. And he killed one, paralyzed one, and one had, I think, one of his thumb blown off. Well, that year, when the club ended their fiscal year, they took that leftover money. They actually had about 25 grand left over. And they turned around and donated it to the police department for class 5 body armor, which will stop an AK round. And those were, if I remember correctly, those were about 5 grand at the time. And this is in 93. Hey, down south, 225. And my sweet baby said, for $5, says, just wanted to say how proud that I am of you. Almost at 8,000. Love you so much. Well, I love you the most. Thank you, baby. I do. I love that woman. She's incredible. Well, Miss Carol Douglas, I don't know. Don't really care. What is up, my tyrant friend?
Hello, hello. How are you guys tonight?
Oh man, I'm great. Did you hear the story I was telling?
Yes, about
okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't have to go back to the start. So anyway, I know that story was a little off subject. So anyway, if again it's private property, it's a nonprofit
Good night,
group.
Miss Stephanie. Did you see that email address?
And either way, it
in the
would not
ticker tape?
matter if one person of that club wanted him there, because the actual property owner, where the meeting was being held, bounced him, told him to leave. Hey, Kentucky View, told him to leave. That's trespassing. It doesn't matter if every other person in that damn building, in that club, said, yeah, you're cool, come on in and film all you want. So again, but the actual property owner told him to buckle and bounce. Hey, law talking debunking.
Yeah, somebody's talking about motorcycle club. I've been riding with a motorcycle charity group for a little right at 25 years. And hold on just a moment. There you go. Let me make up another banner for that. Y'all bear with me just a minute while I'm at it. Y'all ain't going no damn where. All right, run that one too. There we go. No, he started talking about his daddy was in a motorcycle club. TB's. He's not talking about a motorcycle club. It's an airport club. Yeah, he's talking about was talking about an airport club, but then he started talking about his daddy was with a motorcycle club that, and they all the profits that they had left over. The club, I don't know how theirs supposedly work, but the one that I've been riding with, we're a children's charity group. It's called Bikers Who Care. You can look them up on Facebook. It's the largest in Tennessee, and we fund a summer camp for terminally ill and handicapped children. And we pay for our own tickets to go work. That we don't have any profit left over. Uh, uh, every dime we make in events and everything, we totally give it to the charity. We pay our monthly dues is what pays for our clubhouse and that stuff. Yeah, but every penny we make goes to charity groups. We totally fund a summer camp called Camp Rainbow. It's a week long camp where kids have their own counselor and they do whatever they want to down at the camp. You know, they got doctors on site to take care of them. It's a great thing. I'm real proud of it. Of anything I've done in my life, that's one thing I have to say I'm damn proud I did. You know, it's not a motorcycle club, it's a children's riding organization. We don't have no three-piece patch. You know, it says MC in the city or nothing like that. We got a single patch, looks like the shape of the state of Tennessee.
And King Pokey, our master of railroads, for $5 says the cop should be fired for not helping the owner and letting the frauditor fit his narrative. You know, this may sound strange coming from me, but dude, I can't agree with you anymore. And batshit crazy girl, our drama host Smacker, is in the house. Welcome back, sis. But so that, you know, hey, B9 Bear, Mom Bear, welcome. But yeah, JJ, that one kind of chapped my ass making it.
That one there was definitely a police fail, that's for sure. I think the key words there was private property, just right out of the gate. That automatically meant that woman had rights to tell whoever she wanted to leave her property. So it didn't matter what they was doing there. Yeah, I was very disappointed in that day.
Well, you heard me talking about my father's motorcycle club. That, you know, I use that as an analogy because it's very, very similar.
Yes,
both are nonprofit groups, you know, and both are private clubs. Now, the only difference is if Doofus the frauditor there had tried that same shit at my father's motorcycle club, he would have needed the police to protect him.
Of course, I'm not trying to take that for the police at all. I mean, like I said, I think it was a total fail. But I mean, basically, what he should have told the frauditor guy, which I think he made it quite clear exactly what he was. He should have told him, said, "Hey, look, this is private property. You got to leave. If that meeting is public and it's supposed to be public, then you need to go seek legal
I'm
counsel
outside
and
of Clarksville.
Yeah, because that would be a civil case.
Yes, but as far as I'm concerned, you're on private property.
I'm in between Clarksville and
Dixon. Went back over and told the property owner and said, "Hey, look, I can make him leave, but if this is a private meeting, you might be held liable. Do you understand that? Yes or no?" And then left. End of story.
Yeah, absolutely. Simon Trace, welcome back, and Tommy Egan. To answer your question,
25 acres of God's country.
That's where I'm going to leave it. But yeah, I mean, that just seriously irritated me, and did a little digging into our little buddy there, and he does this exact same shit with the water board.
Yeah.
But the water board versus a private aviation club. You know, not to mention
Chattanooga's a good town, a lot of fun.
FAA regulations about unauthorized persons at an FAA airport. That just seems like that could have been another.
How long ago was that, Scotto? There's the link if anybody wants to come up. I don't know why I didn't think to do that sooner, but I'm still new at all this shit. Oh man, don't think good. Uh, Chattanooga is a beautiful area with the Lookout Mountain. That's a great spot. I hadn't been there in a long time. They had that incline railroad went straight up the damn mountain. Let's see, Lookout Point, and ain't Ruby Falls up that way too, I believe. If you have never been there, that's beautiful. It's a cave, and inside the cave there's a waterfall. You walk back in there, and they turn the lights on it, all kind of colored lights. It's coming straight down out of the ceiling, right down into a small pool, just disappearing. And inside of a cave, they take you down in an elevator. It's really cool. Stephanie says, right on. I'm near Crossville on 10 acres across a national forest. Love the country. I'm definitely in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely are. Oh, wow. Scotto said, yes, my sister was a tour guide at Ruby Falls when I was a kid. That would have been awesome. I lived 47 years in Florida on the East Coast on the beach, and people everywhere. Moved here now. I have farm animals. Awesome. Hell yeah. And you said, let's see, about 25 years been in San Francisco since. I got a daughter in San Francisco. She did live, she just recently moved to inside of San Francisco. But she was on a place called Treasure Island where she lived. I'm almost certain that's where it was at. Somewhere right there outside of San Francisco, like in the harbor or some shit. I don't know. But she lives in San Francisco now. Okay, you know Treasure Island? Yeah. That's where she lived for a long time. She's a manager with Target, what she does. I'm real proud of her. She's my middle daughter. I got 4 children altogether, 1 son, 3 daughters. My son died 2 years ago. And I have 1 daughter that was older than him. She's almost 40. She'll kill me for telling that. I actually just became a great grandfather of all things. I have a great granddaughter I'm real proud of. But yeah, I'm out in the country. I also have a daughter in 40 or 29 Palms. She lives there. She's a barber on the Marine base. Not grandbaby, great grandbaby. My 22-year-old granddaughter just got married and had a baby. I'm an old bastard. Yeah, even better. And you know what's awesome about it is they live in Radcliffe, right up the road from Meade County. So when I went up to see Chris, I went and seen the baby too. So anytime I'm up there visiting, I can go over and check out anything in Meade County. Those Radcliffe's right there. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. But yeah, I live here. I got 25 acres. My brother lives right beside of me on the same farm. Him and his wife together. We have 6 pit bulls running free on this farm. I got 2. He's got 4. They're in 7th heaven. Because I bet they love the space. They do. That's all they do is run through the woods. The last night I was on live, my service dog, Debbie, she's a blue fawn pit. She come bothering me to go outside, so I showed everybody her to the camera, and I had to put her out. And then once she got outside, all the nightlife around everywhere, the owls, and frogs, and deer, and anything that's moving, possums, all through the woods. She could hear all of it, and so she goes into guard mode, and she's outside just barking her damn head off, and I'm trying to go live. But she's a good girl. I've had her 4 years. I love her to death. Well, let's see what else this bastard's got to say. I bet he don't say nothing about fraud or troll.
Another way they could have looked at that.
Which I sort of laughed about it after I watched it too. I said, after all that's over and done with, I think those board members need to get together and find that one board member who invited him in, and they need to go on and oust him.
Absolutely. And news now acts body spray, our cult antagonizer for $4.99 says, by frauditor's logic, is if I leave my front door open at my house, they can come right in. Yeah, because if they see it, they can film it.
Yes, and their whole logic behind that is if there's not a no trespassing sticker on your front door, then they can come right on in. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just some of the silliest shit. And here's my thing, JJ. And now granted, this may seem like something that's common sense, but now with me, if I'm not wanted somewhere, I'm not going to be there.
Well, I got something to say about that. We don't want you here. Go the fuck away.
Gentlemen, we are fortunate. Why? He's an imbecile.
Oh, blow it out your ass.
I love Only Audits. I got his video.
When I walk on by, y'all be looking like, who's that guy? Got a CIB, Ranger SF, and an EOD. This is how I roll, salad bar bling be out of control. Fake shit in these big ass rolls, cause all this brass gets all these hoes. Girl, look at these medals. Girl, look at these medals. Girl, look at these medals. Spec ops. Girl, look at these medals. Girl, look at these medals. Girl, look at these stop. When I walk in the bar, this is what I see. Everybody stopping and staring at me. I got medals on my chest and I
Yeah, you
ain't
come on
afraid
up
to
if you want
show
to, bud.
it, show
Okay.
it, show it, show it.
Stolen and I know it.
Great, I'm out there soaking up accolades. When you challenge me, I'll just blame PTSD. This is how I roll. Yo, Ranger S, it's time to go. We headed to the bar, baby, don't be nervous. No lines, no charge, or time of service.
Did you see the link?
Girl, look at these medals. Girl, look at these medals. I spec ops. Girl, look at these medals. Girl, look at these medals. Girl, look at these medals. I spec ops. I got medals on my chest and I ain't afraid to show it. Show it, show it, show it.
It's stolen and I know it.
I don't have a Purple Heart.
Yeah, I made sure I left all the introduction and everything. I want everybody to know who it was because it's just too cool. I got a bunch of them. I think I got just about every one of them that he's done. I just love it. He's funny as hell. Y'all did a hell of a job. Y'all is very talented. I've been trying to do the face swaps. I got one in my mind that I know that just be funny as hell, and I ain't been able to figure out how to do one of them. But I want to do one of Car 54. Where are you? With Tuttle and Wrangler. I think it would be absolutely perfect. But I'm gonna figure it out. But yeah, you guys are great. Tones. Tones is another talented, very talented. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah, I'm just small time trying to grow. You know, my whole philosophy. I'm a 14-year veteran. I was partially regular Army and the rest reserves. I volunteered for Desert Storm. I served 3 months as a tank driver in an M1, and used to be a drill sergeant with the reserve unit I was with, and was stationed at Fort Knox, all up there. So I'm real strong. My dad was a Vietnam veteran. So like I said, if you cut me, I bleed green. I'm a military brat. Grew up around Fort Campbell, with the 101st. And during Vietnam, you talk about a serious bunch of boys. Them boys they were sharp. I remember the coolest thing as a kid was watching the division jump coming in when they came back. And they went to the sawn drop zone on post. And me and my mom stood there and watched the planes come through, and the whole damn sky filled up with parachutes. It was really awesome. Let's see. Yeah. Well, I'll be 62 in July. So, I'm getting up there. But I don't like the shit that's been going on, so I got started getting on. I saw what happened with Chris and Tiffany and that arrest, and that's what pissed me off because I could hear that cop say that he was going to hold all that camera equipment before they went to trial so that the judge couldn't see it. And so That's really why I started my channel, is because of that kind of shit. And then just like all this is going on with JJ, and now he's trying this shit with Sarge Finkel. That's just bullshit. Uh Criminal racketeering. What the fuck? That motherfucker is out to his rocker. Only thing I'll tell you I'm worried about is just fucking good old boys system in Kentucky. Oh, I know it. Yeah, I know it. That's they say with age comes wisdom. Old Sarge ain't no slouch. If a prosecutor picks it up, it's going to be just because of a good old boy system. That's the only reason. If he does, I don't think he'll even do it. I think he'll laugh at him. They get on my damn nerves so bad.
A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit. A bullshit? A bullshit? A bullshit. A bullshit.
I love that little kid. Oh yeah, earlier y'all was talking about dipshit passing PT. Here's him on PT.
Well, are you? Then quit, you slimy fucking walrus fucking piece of shit! Get the fuck off of my obstacle! Get the fuck down off of my obstacle! Now! Move it! I'm gonna rip your balls off so you cannot contaminate the rest of the world!
Hey, there you are, buddy. I didn't see you down there. I just happened
I
to
kind of
look at
figured
the
that.
private chat. Yeah,
I
I
kind of
didn't
figured that.
see you. Oh,
Now, the question
buckle
I've
boy.
got is, do I come and pick you up, or are you going to meet me down in Alabama?
Shit. We're taking a bus load.
Oh, I'm talking about in 2 weeks possible.
Oh, yeah. When are you going?
I'm thinking 2 weeks from now. It's going to have to be on a week that I've actually got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off.
How long you planning to stay?
As long as I can. I'm going to try to talk to a bunch of people down there, see if they know about the murder, get them aware of what happened, and seeing if we can't kind of push for more people to know about it and see if we can get this trial on the way.
That would be a good thing.
Yeah,
We'll
well,
have to talk some more.
I'm also thinking about going over to 245 COBB Road. If Michael
Yeah.
actually sees that address, he's going to know what it is.
Oh, yeah.
It's his
Yeah,
old
we'll have
address.
to do some talking.
Do some video.
Did you see that submittal I put in yesterday?
Yeah.
I
Hopefully we
didn't
can
hear
get it.
nothing today.
Yeah, well,
Did you see
this
everything I
weekend,
asked for?
this weekend I will actually be doing a live because I got an email that I'm not too happy about. You know our particular little subject that we're talking about?
Yeah.
He wrote me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, told me that I need to stop looking into this shit. So I'm going to look into it a lot deeper. You know me, once I get my fangs into something, I ain't going to stop. And if you try to tell me to stop, I'm going to bite even harder.
Well, when I went up there and dropped that one off, they said that they didn't receive the electronic one. And I said, well, I got an email back saying that you asked for an additional 10 days. And I showed it to her, and she knew nothing about it. And she was all apologetic and everything. I had never told her anything about what it was about. I just said, I'd done a Freedom of Information Act, and this is what's going on. And she said, I apologize, and I'll definitely get it taken care of right away. And she gave me a form and gave me a place to sit down, and fill it out. And when I handed it to her and she looked it over, she said, I'll probably be calling you tomorrow. And I was like, okay, but I didn't hear from her today.
Well, I wouldn't be
But she took
surprised
both
if,
of my numbers. She took my cell number and my home number.
well, I wouldn't be surprised if that particular subject that we're talking about is trying to interfere after getting that email. I'm just getting very suspicious on why he would write telling me to stop looking into it and give it up. I've been getting the runaround with the fucking Freedom of Information Act, and now you are. Something's not adding up here. So I definitely am going to be fighting hard to get those records now.
Yeah. Well, you seen I asked for anything at all that was not previously included in there.
Wow.
I wanted all the court records, any video, any court video, transcripts of the court, and any and all records that were not asked for that specifically pertain to him, disciplinary record, all of it.
Yeah, that's going to be quite a bit to go through. But I guess it's going to show people that we're being thorough on this shit. And all I wanted to know is why it was dismissed and the reason for the dismissal. But most of all, was it dismissed with or without prejudice? I know they can't recharge him because the statute of limitation is already up. But if I find out that that girl is missing, then it's going to go
That's
from...
what I want to know.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I want to know. I want to know, is she or isn't she?
Well, that's the kind of concern that we're getting from this family that contacted me. So, yeah, I'm going to be fighting in hard for that. If we find out
I
that
know I'm trying, I'll do what I can do to get what you asked me to get for you, for your reasons. But my interest in it now is I want to know where she's at. Is she okay?
Well, our interests are aligned. It's just you're being a little bit more thorough, and I'm all right with that. I mean, we can both sit there and publish everything. I don't really care. I just want to find out what happened.
Right. Well, I won't publish nothing unless you tell me it's all right, because it's your deal.
Yeah, well,
I
you're
just want
doing
to
most
know.
you're doing most work, so if you actually find out and you want to run it, and then I'll run it afterwards. It's no big deal to me.
Uh,
Hell, if we have to, I'll bring you up on a Saturday night and we'll just reveal it then.
yeah, we can do something like that.
Do like a dual live stream where I can have my audience and you can have yours, and we'll get
Yeah,
everybody together
hell,
to learn about it.
yours is mine. I don't have
I,
much.
I
I'm
don't know.
still a little fella.
I don't think Scoto is one of mine. I think he's kind of evaded my channel.
Well, he tonight's first night I've got to talk to him. It's been enjoyable. I've wanted to get a chance to talk to him. I'm really impressed with the work that they do on their videos and stuff. I do a lot of editing myself, and I tried really hard to learn to use Resolve, and you know that that is a complicated program.
Well, you should try the one that comes with Windows. I
Well,
think it's
I
called
mean,
ClipChamp. I've actually been working with.
I use Wondershare. I use Filmora now is what I use. It's got, all the templates that I need and everything, and it's, I paid for the year, but I tried really hard for the longest time. First couple of videos I did with Resolve, and it's a tough program. But man, it's amazing some of the stuff that you can do, and I love what Only Frauds does, and just Tones. Tones overthinks it. He's awesome. I love him.
Maybe one day I'll actually sit down and help you out on figuring out that program if you ain't got it figured out already.
All right. I just got to find a good one. I've tried about 8 or 10 different ones, and a bunch of them are, you know, they're not really what I want. So I'll find the right one eventually.
Well, it's like I said, that clip chat, it's actually pretty easy to operate. It's just,
Yeah,
I
I've
guess,
used ClipChat, son. I've used it some. It's pretty simple. Um,
well, that's the one that I've been helping Cliff with. He's been using
yeah,
that and he's not understood it a whole lot, and we've been working with it on the back end.
right. Well, it's pretty simple. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
I think it's the learning what the actual program can do that can be
right.
a little bit tricky, because sometimes you'll want to like slow down a person and kind of make it go like welcome, and then try to get that
Yeah.
one word to repeat over and over and over, like what they did with Wrangler saying it's not relevant,
Mm,
and then they go back over it and they echo it and then say this is not relevant. That's
right.
kind of probably the hardest thing to learn how to do in that program.
All right. Yeah. I have a second channel where I do pit bulls, and it's about the breed, bringing attention to them. And I've been working on a video for it, for the last week or so. Uh, Let me see. I wonder if I can bring that up and share it. Let me close some of this stuff. Did you see that when I switched cameras on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
computer?
I've seen it. Yeah, I think I recognize the tower that you're using. I think it's
an
I want
Asus.
to say, oh, it's an Asus computer.
Case
I
is.
thought it. I thought it would have
Liquid
been a.
cooled.
I thought it would have been a custom built because it does look like the. I'm thinking it's the D100. I think that's the one that I had was the D100, and I threw in the motherboard. What was it? I can't even remember. It was so long ago, but I did the full water cooling. Had the two Poseidon 780s in it. My computer was a badass at the time.
The only thing I wish this one had was more memory. I run an external memory with it because it doesn't have enough hard drive. Let's see here.
Well, you can always add. All it takes is room for it to be put in, and if you don't have the room, you can always run the external ones and just set it up on top of it.
Yeah, that's what I've got. That's what I got set up. Let me see if I can share this. There you go.
See if
Hi,
I can turn it.
Welcome back to the wonderful world of pigs, where we discuss that wonderful breed of dog, yet so misunderstood, the American Pit Bull. A breed that is so misunderstood, yet so wonderful. In this episode,
That's the one I'm working on right now.
and uncut pit bull ears. We will discuss the pros and the cons and uncover the controversial practice of ear cropping.
Let's see if I can bring it up.
Cut pit bulls have undergone a cosmetic procedure called ear cropping, where the portion of
Oh, that's one I'm working on.
Well, it looks good so far, and that program looks kind of similar to Clip Chat.
It is. It's real close to it. It's just got a little more of the templates that fit to YouTube, you know. It's got a bunch of the subscribe buttons already built, that, the animated that you can use, stuff like that. It's got a bunch of already set up for YouTube. Makes it pretty easy.
Well, I would
You
just
just
take
got
the easy route and actually record somebody's off of YouTube and then throw it into mine.
with that, I wrote the script first and recorded it, and then started doing all the video, and like there's one section where it's a graph that pops down and shows pros and cons, and but it's all just basically line up, push a button and drag it into the timeline. Type in whatever you want to type. and then blow up the audio line enough that you can line it all up. It's pretty simple, but it's
Yeah, all that stuff that you're doing on the desktop, you can't do on the damn phone that I have.
right. I can't do shit on the phone. I hate
I'm
trying
just,
to do anything on the phone. Bree does everything on the phone. She gets on here with YouTube videos and chats and everything else.
yeah, I normally do all my videos on my phone, and that's how a lot of people can tell that it's not the best quality ever. But if I get that computer, I can promise you there is going to be a huge change.
We're supposed to get fiber optic out here in first of the year. I can't wait.
Oh,
Late
fiber
at
is
night like
so
this, I
wonderful.
get a good stream, But on the satellite in the evening when everybody's come home from work and they're all on it at the same time, fucking signal's shit. So
Yeah, it
I'm
sounds like you
kind
got
of
satellite, ain't
yeah,
you? Yeah,
I
yeah,
do.
satellite is not the best for internet, doing live streams and video game planes or stuff like that. That's just mainly look up the videos, watch them, and that's it. That's all
Yeah.
that's basically for.
I
But
only
when you
play
have,
one game. I play that World of Warships.
oh, I used to
I'm a
play that.
I'm a tanker. Yeah, I'm a tanker, and they've got World of Tanks, but I hate it. I don't like it. I like the
Oh,
warships better.
I actually used to play the World of Tanks as well. I did try the World of World Planes, but no, I didn't like that.
I
But
do. I like it.
I actually got the T-95, which everybody knows is the Doom Turtle because it's a hell of a tank destroyer, but it's slow as shit.
Yeah.
I I literally got that damn thing and I enjoyed it. I would set myself up in the corner and just pop people that just come flying by. And everybody would always get pissed at me over too.
Yeah. I can't control World of Tanks. It's too jerky. The steering's too jerky. Yeah. I can't. I can't really and can't get it smooth to drive. I get pissed off.
Oh, that's probably because of your internet. It's just not the same unless you have fiber optics. That much I will tell you. 'Cause I played it on
Right.
satellite internet. I had the same problem. Once I got the fiber optics, it was like smooth as silk.
When you drove one of those right there,
Hmm.
that driving that one on the screen pisses you off.
Well, the one tank that pissed me off the most was that Tiger 2. The Tiger 2 was the one that pissed me off the most. Because they'd
That
always
whole
know.
game pisses me off.
Well, the Tiger 2 would always be angled just in the right way that my shells would bounce off of it. Every damn time.
That's why I like the warships because it's smooth. You can
Mhm.
slow steering. I like it.
Don't even think I ever got over above tier 5 in that World of Warships.
I used to play it a lot when I was out at first. When I was in town, I had fiber optics. And then when I moved out here, I didn't have shit for internet, so I quit playing for a long time. And now I got this satellite hooked up, and before I was running off my brother's Wi-Fi, and that was really slow. So I just gave up.
Well, I know at the time I was running and I just realized what the motherboard was that I was trying to think of earlier. It's Sabertooth. And I was running a full water custom system in it, fully built on my own.
Sweet.
Yeah, by the time I
I
was
was
done
gonna
building,
build this one. I decided I'm just gonna buy one instead. I had the motherboard and the processor. All I needed was I needed DDR4 RAM and a power supply, graphics card. I had the case, but I just said to hell with it and bought that one.
well, take a guess on
I
what
got a
the
good
grand
one.
take a guess on what the grand price was for building Project Blue Book or Blue Beast.
What?
$2,500.
I can see that. I can see that.
And that was back in 2016, I think it was.
All right.
But I built that sucker and it was a beast. A lot of people complimented me on it, said you did a really good job because I was using tubing, and it's not the rubber tubing, it's the glass tubing. And I literally had to
Right.
heat it up and bend it. And if you screwed up on that bend, throw it away. And that really cost me a lot of money because I screwed up a lot.
I bet. Well, I've been going about 2 hours, so I think I'm gonna have to wind it down.
All right. Well, you have a good night. Give me a call sometime. Let me know what's going on.
I will. I will.
All right.
We'll talk about this trip because I'm definitely interested. Definitely.
Well, there ain't nothing set to date yet, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing something like that. Going down there, letting people know what happened in 2009 and seeing if we can build up some steam to get people interested in it.
We might have to. If you stay, you might have to stay longer than I will because I'll probably only be able to go for a couple of days. But
Well, at the most, I
definitely.
would stay 3, but I definitely want to get down there and talk to the DA to find out where he's sitting at, seeing if he needs us to do anything.
Yeah, I'm about 5 hours to any point of. What part of Alabama is it?
I'd have to look it up. I honestly don't know. I just right now
Well,
it's in the
I'm
base.
anywhere. I'm gonna be anywhere around 5 hours, probably to most anywhere in there. Like I said, I'm on the Tennessee-Kentucky border.
Yeah, I know where you're at.
So,
Remember, I used to hunt up in that area.
right. Oh shit! I can kill a deer off my front porch. I ain't got to go nowhere. I can set in the swing, kill one.
All right,
All
I'll let you
right.
get on
Well,
off here. I
yeah,
gotta get back to work here in about 20 minutes.
All right, brother. Well, you take it easy. Thanks for coming up.
Everybody, have a good night.
All right, y'all. Well, I'm gonna wind it down. Thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight, and I've enjoyed it. Glad Scotto come by. Everybody else, if you hadn't hit that like button for me, I'd appreciate it. And subscribed already. We're still trying to grow. We were up to 66, and I was happy when we hit 50, and now we're working to get to 100. So thank y'all for hanging out. Enjoy it. Maybe this video will go viral. I sure do hope so. Before we go, let's take a look one more time and see what the count is on it right now. This Fraud Troll did a hell of a job. He's at 7K. Hold on just a minute. Okay, put the link in the channel, and I'll also put it in the description below too. To the video that Fraud Troll put out, if you hadn't already seen it. But if you're new and you're seeing it for the first time, spread the word, share, let everybody know, get this video out, as many see it as possible. This son of a bitch is a sick bastard, and we got to do something. So, thank y'all. Y'all have a good night. God bless. I'll see you next time. That's so Sarge. I'm gone.